architecture development method, commonly known as ADM, provide certain processes which are repeatable, which are tested, and helps building architecture. Now, this diagram, which I've taken directly from the Open Group website, highlights all the important phases within the ADM life cycle. So, starting from preliminary and architecture vision phase, going down to business architecture, information systems, and technology architecture phases, and then phases which helps finding opportunities and solutions, looking into the uh, aspects of change management architecture and implementation governance. So this is a complete life cycle, and it's an iterative process. One thing to bear in mind is that requirement management goes on for the entire life cycle throughout the process. Again, this is something which needs a lot more discussion, which we will carry out in the next few videos. For now, the important thing to understand is that ADM produces a number of outputs at the end of the process. One of the output can be an architecture definition document. Now, it's a type of a deliverable. So deliverable is something which is agreed upon by different stakeholders, and it basically takes a form of a document. So architecture definition document can be one of the deliverables. Deliverable can consist of a number of artifacts. Artifacts can be a certain kind of diagram or a process, a flow diagram, or it can be a catalog, requirement catalog, and so on and so forth. So a document which is an architecture definition document, which is a type of deliverable, can have many artifacts, and these artifacts further helps defining or describing building blocks. Now, building blocks can be certain processes within the system, it can be certain actors, but the association between artifact and these building blocks is important to understand. Now, in this very diagram, again, I've taken this from the Open Group website, but the example which we were discussing in one of the previous videos was about the taxi company. So a taxi company can have an artifact which can be a use case diagram, and that can basically help identifying building block, which can be an actor such as customer service representative, as shown by the very diagram which we are seeing on the screen. It can also help describing other actors, for example, a passenger or a chauffeur, which can be empowered by the new system which we are trying to incorporate. It can, again, some of the artifacts can help define certain processes. We have highlighted a process flow diagram or use case diagram, but there can be other diagrams like sequence diagram or database diagram. Now, a sequence diagram may help you describe a completely different process to the one which is identified over here. For example, it can help you develop a process for getting real-time information about the traffic or flight schedule. So these are the different outputs which are produced as a result of ADM lifecycle. Now, the important thing is that the deliverable can once at the time of completion, deliverable can also be placed in an architecture repository, what we say, and that architecture repository can have other deliverables, and that can be used as a reference in the future. So for example, if you have a similar kind of issue, you can basically look into the architecture repository and refer to the existing deliverables.